Chapter 1, Shloka 4. In the third verse, we saw how Duryodhana, representing desire, the blind king's son, approaches his teacher Dronacharya, symbolizing past habits, and cunningly reminds him of the mighty warriors present in the Pandava army. By doing so, Duryodhana is not only expressing his fear, but also trying to provoke Drona into fighting with all his strength. Now, in the fourth shloka, Duryodhana begins to name those divine allies of the Pandavas' army, which represents the inner powers of the soul awakened through yoga. These are not merely historical kings and warriors, they are metaphysical soldiers, each representing a quality of consciousness that arises in the devotee who sincerely practices meditation. Let's start with literal meaning of Shloka 4, Atra Shura, Maheshvasa, Bhimarjuna Samayudi, Yuyudhano Viratascha, Drupadscha Maharata. That means, Duryodhana said to Dronacharya, "Look here, great warriors stand ready in the Pandava army. They are not ordinary men, but mighty heroes, masters of the bow, equal in skill to Bhima and Arjuna themselves. Among them shine Yuyudhana, Virata, and the brave king Drupada." So in this verse, three warriors which supports Pandava army are mentioned, Yuyudhana, Virata, and Drupada. Now let's decode the spiritual meaning of each warrior. To understand the deeper spiritual meaning of each warrior, we will take the help of their role in Mahabharata's story, and then we can get the linkage of that warrior's spiritual role in meditation. Let's start with Yuyudhana. Yuyudhana, symbol of devotion, what we call it as Shraddha. In Mahabharata, Yuyudhana is better known as Satyaki, the valiant disciple of Arjuna. He was known for his unwavering loyalty to the Pandavas. On the battlefield, he fought fiercely to protect Arjuna, never wavering in his devotion. His life was guided by Nishtha. Just as Yuyudhana always stood by Arjuna, in meditation, devotion, Shraddha always stands by the yogi. In meditation, without devotion, techniques remain mechanical. It is this inner love, this Shraddha, that fuels perseverance and steadiness in sadhana. Yuyudhana fights the enemy of doubt and disbelief that often whispers, "Is meditation really working? Will I ever find God?" Devotion is the magnetic pull of the heart that keeps the practitioner steady, even when doubts and difficulties attack. Without this loyalty of the heart, the soul easily slips back into body consciousness. So Yuyudhana symbolizes the inner force of bhakti, the loyalty of the soul to God. Now let's decode King Virata. Virata symbolizes ecstatic states of deep meditation that protect and nourish the inner warrior, what we call it as samadhi. He represents the glimpses of samadhi, the deep inner stillness where one tastes unity with the self. When the Pandavas were exiled, they spent their 13th year in disguise in the court of King Virata. Virata unknowingly gave shelter to these great warriors, protecting their true identity until the time came for them to reclaim their kingdom. Similarly, in meditation, samadhi shelters the yogi. In the disguise of stillness, the soul experiences a temporary withdrawal from worldly identity and enters moments of divine union. For a meditator, these moments of silence and bliss are like royal provisions that give strength to continue the inner war. Samadhi conquers the illusion of material duality by showing the yogi the taste of oneness. Just as King Virata's palace gave safety to the Pandavas, the bliss of samadhi gives strength to the yogi until he is ready to fully reclaim the kingdom of self-realization. Now the turn for third warrior, Drupada. Drupada symbolizes Tivra Samvega, that inner fire of intense yearning for liberation and deep dispassion for worldly entanglements, which makes spiritual progress swift and powerful, what we call it as Vairagya. As I already told story of, Drupada in third shloka was the king of Panchala and the father of Draupadi. In his youth, he was a close friend of Drona. But when he became king, pride created distance. Later humiliated by Drona, Drupada longed intensely for revenge. To fulfill this burning desire, he performed a great yagya, from which Draupadi and Drishtadyumna were born. This story shows the power of intense longing. Just as Drupada's burning desire gave birth to divine allies, the yogi's burning dispassion for worldly things and ardent longing for God gives birth to Kundalini awakening, Draupadi, and the inner power to conquer old habits, Drishtadyumna. In meditation, unless one has this inner burning, I must know God, I must be free, the mind remains trapped in worldly pulls. Drupada, the Vairagya, fights the powerful army of attachments and desires that constantly drag the yogi outward. So in this fourth verse, three mighty warriors have been revealed: devotion, Shraddha, ecstatic states of deep meditation, Samadhi, and burning dispassion, Vairagya, each carrying both a historical role in Mahabharata and a hidden role in our inner battle of meditation. But the army is not complete yet. In the 5th and 6th shlokas, we will meet even more subtle forces, such as spiritual memory, Chaitanya, discriminative intelligence, Kashiraja, moral strength, Drishtaketu, and others. These too have their stories in the Mahabharata and their secrets in the yogic path. We will explore them in the next episode of Shloka 5. May the light of the Gita guide your inner war until peace reigns within. Thank you.